Hello everybody, no preamble to this one. We're back with the second full ring video, continuing straight on from the first. Please like, share, subscribe, all those things that I sometimes ask you to do. It'd be really nice. Please do go and check out my Twitch stream, give me a follow. That'd be sweet too. The Twitch stream is below the link. Below the video. And I'm planning on streaming every night, Wednesday through Sunday, from around 11 PM UK time, 11 PM to midnight-ish start time. It'd be good to see some of you guys over there, for sure. And we're making these two full ring videos by request of somebody that I'm currently working with. 7/3. I was instantly going to 3-bet this hand, but versus 7/3, we're just going to call and approach the situation with extreme caution because it's full ring and 7/3s exist, and it's pretty reliable. When someone's a 7/3, you kind of know they're going to be a very tight player. Sometimes when you're playing 6-max, you can have somebody over 30 hands that could be playing like 30/20 who ends up being 18/16. Usually when someone's 7/3, they're rarely going to get above like 11/8, in my opinion. So you just know they're like a monster. We don't want to be 3-betting hands like ace queen versus people who might only be raising 5% hands in total. I've seen guys that have like 4/0 over hundreds of hands, literally hundreds of hands. So when I see someone with very tight stats opening, there's just no reason to get out of line against them. No reason whatsoever. I mean, ace queen's too strong to fold, of course, but me 3-betting it just doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me. I guess you could argue that nitty, they're going to be like not willing to call 4-bets wide, but the problem is they're not opening wide, they're opening like jacks plus, and that's about it. And 3-bet the queen jack suited versus this dude who's one of the more loose aggressive players in town. And we're going to see what's going on here with the fold and watch. Jacks versus ace king. There you go. There's a bit of full ring for you. I don't think we were ever going to see like two completely spewy hands there. Maybe the short stack who jams could have some random shite who's just giving up on life, but yeah, mostly speaking, when you see a 3-bet and a cold 4-bet in full ring, you're going to see two very strong hands, unless one of the guys is just like a total monkey. I'm not going to call out of position with the 5s, just going to muck it. Maybe only the second or third 3-bet we've faced in approximately 40 minutes of play so far over the two videos. As we talked about in the last video, this is going to be like supremely dull for 6-max players, and I'm aware that many of the people who view my videos are 6-max players, but you're also poker players, and it's good to open your mind to potentially playing different games or seeing how people approach different games. We talked about in the last video, I'm not going to repeat it too much, but I suspect there's lots of losing 6-max players who will be winning full ring players. Not like the super laggy loose guys wouldn't be. You know, if you're playing 6-max and your stats are like in the high 20s VPIP, and then you're just going to, you know, you're going to find yourself winning more pots at full ring, but you're going to find yourself like losing an equally large amount of money. But if you're kind of a tight full ring player already, a tight 6-max player already, quite often I think like tight 6-max players make like some of the best full ring players. We're going to set man with our 3s here. And we're going to set man with our 3s. And just folding the jacks. When we open under the gun and we get 3-bet from the big blind, even though he did look like he might be a fish because he's $5 stack, I think like getting jacks in there would be fucking horrendously spewy. I guess we could just call, and then if we see a low flop, just like jam over a c-bet, but just taking out the super low variance route versus 3 bets, in my opinion, in these games is like easily the best way to play it. Most people's 3 bets don't get above 3% in these games over a big sample. It might seem insanely tight to you there, what I just did with them jacks, but I genuinely think it's the best play. If you are like not comfortable making pretty tight folds, full ring is absolutely not going to be the game for you. It really isn't, because you're going to end up just giving value all over the place to nits. You need to be disciplined in these games. There's lots of easy chips to be made in like small and medium sized pots for sure. Lots of easy chips to be made. And if you're going to be giving them all back, and if you're playing and you're the aggressor, you can be pretty aggressive, and you can c-bet pretty wide, double barrel pretty wide against people who are just calling, etc. But once someone takes a line that's like responding aggressively to your aggression, either by 3-betting you or by raising you post flop, the vast majority of the time you're best folding like very tight and only like continuing with the absolute top of your range. Again, that's not necessarily the sort of advice people want to hear, but I genuinely think it is like really good advice. 3211 is probably going to be some kind of fish. 24/7 is probably going to be some kind of orange tag. I'm going to go for a delayed c-bet here. And if we get bet into, then we have an easy fold. Maybe not so much now. Now we picked up the open ender. Maybe we just call. Like a 24/7, making a large bet into us. We're significantly behind here, but I guess we have some really good implied odds, because I'm going to guess he's got like strong ace, maybe sets. So we're not making money on this call now, but I think if we do hit like a 9 or a 4, especially an offsuit one, I think we can certainly make some decent money on the river. Maybe even bluff on this. Does a 24/7 have much 4x in his calling range that then stabs the turn? I think not. We can think about bluffing here for sure. I'm not expecting him to fold like a set here ever, but I think if he's got like ace jack, ace 10, he's going to fold all of that, and if he doesn't, I think he's making probably a pretty bad call in these games. He doesn't fold ace queen. That's fair enough. I mean, that's fine. I thought we could get him to fold, well, not that particular. I don't know much about that player, but that's clearly the kind of hand we're trying to get him to fold there. Didn't work, never mind. There's much hope of our 10s being good here, but versus that bet size, we certainly shouldn't be folding. mean, I just don't think we're good here, anywhere near enough to call. We block king 10. He might just have a hand like king queen, and we're just betting super small for value. He's got a jack. Can we? Does he really double barrel a jack? I doubt it. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold. Three bet the ace deuce, which is someone who looks like they might be slightly on the looser side. Don't think we're going to get squeezed by the big blind very often here, so we'll just call and take a flop in position. And fuck me, we get squeezed by the 16-5. It's just a super trivial fold. Now, this isn't going to happen very often. I mean, you see a 24/5, you just being aggressive pre-flop isn't their thing, so most of the time you're not going to expect the squeeze. No point me preaching discipline and then like just being a hero and calling down all the time. As you can see, these games are far from fucking good. They are primarily propped by like a lot of nits. But if you're like one of the best nits in the game, then you're going to have an edge, aren't you? And that's kind of where I think I'm in these games. I think even though everyone else is a nit too, or most of the players are nits or pretty tight, I clearly think that, I mean, I could be wrong, but I clearly think I've got an edge over most of them. I think most of them are just like very straightforward, uncreative. Well, is uncreative even a word? But you know what I mean. They're just very straightforward players who just aren't really mixing the game up much, and if you're capable of hand reading quite well and spotting weakness, you can certainly have a decent edge even over the nits, I think. And you have your edge there by just value betting a little bit thinner than them, finding just a few more extra spots to bluff, and then just folding better than they fold. Being able to make some of that, the tougher folds, making some of them where they're making the calls. I think that's where your edge is going to lie. It's going to be like an accumulation of just like things that you do slightly better than them in like many different ways that is going to give you the edge. You certainly don't have much like card advantage versus them, that's for sure. Or maybe we don't even have any card advantage versus some of the tighter players. But if we have like a skill advantage against them, then it's all good. I'm only doing half-hour videos of these because they really are. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to watch an hour of full ring zoom. I know I certainly wouldn't want to. Although years ago on Deuce's Crack, there's a player called Nolan who made like a couple of like really good, interesting full ring videos, and he was only 6 tabling, but he was. I mean, I personally found them really good and really interesting, and I would imagine for these games, going back and watching them, if anyone's got a Deuce's Cracked account or what have you, going back and watching some of Nolan's like content from probably now 10 years ago, would still help you significantly in these games. I'm not sure if anyone's making full ring content on the training sites these days. I don't have any training site subscriptions, so I don't know, but I'm not sure there'll be too much full ring content being created, because full ring doesn't tend to run at very high stakes. It doesn't run very well on other sites. I'm just going to stab small here. I mean, people just tend to fold a lot in these games. He hasn't folded to a c-bet yet, but the sample size is absurdly small. And I've found out that just like stabbing 35-40% pot works really well in these games on dry boards. You just get a ton of folds. I mean, they don't fold every time, of course, but you certainly get enough folds to make that sizing pretty damn good. As you've seen now, we've been recorded maybe 45-50 minutes of content, and the only like reasonable sized pot we've lost was when we tried to bluff earlier in this video. We haven't really been put under an awful lot of pressure at any point by anybody. We haven't been like had loads of mind-bendingly tough decisions, which is again why I think a lot of guys would do better in these games, because you're just not faced with anywhere near as many tough spots. Therefore you can grind longer sessions without tilting, all of those things. Right, so we've got a limp from a like super weak tight looking player. An isolation raise from someone who looks like they could be laggy. This could be a spot where we could think about 3-betting as a bluff, but we're not going to take it. I'm just going to stab smallish again here. Get the fold. Happy days. And 10/6, you can go into the yellow category now. You can go into the purple category for the time being. Not folding a suited Broadway to a 3-bet. Just not doing it. I think we need to be defending stuff like this. We get a pretty rubbish flop and we're probably going to be forced to give up. Again, we're going to maybe go for a delayed bet if this checks through. I could see myself being tempted into bluffing, but we're not going to stab yet. This guy can certainly have some pairs that aren't folding, and this guy's going to have a lot of ace queen, ace jack, ace king that we can make fold by the river sometimes. If it checks through twice again, then we're just going to bet twice, and if someone traps us, then someone traps us, but he's bet out now, so that's the end of that plan. This isn't going to be a game that you're going to be like super excited to grind every day. But if you just like playing poker and it doesn't matter to you what you're playing and you've never considered full ring, I would say just give it a whirl session. You know, just have 1 or 2 sessions of it, see what you think. A bit of a loose open this, but looking behind, there seems to be no one that's like going to be particularly 3-bet happy. I think I could probably open more hands once we get like to the traditional 6 max positions. Because when I get to like what would be under the gun in a 6 max game, in full ring games, I think I could certainly then start. I should really use my 6 max ranges once you get to that seat. I don't. I probably should. And I should probably be like re-stealing wider than I am. I think there's certainly like areas for improvement in my full ring game. It's pretty rusty. Good shot, backdoor flush draw. So we're going to stab and see what happens. Certainly going to call a raise of that size. Is our 4 good here? Was he just like attacking our flop sizing with his check raise? Who knows, but there's no real reason to bet. I don't think. I mean, we protect against like some random overcards and that's about it. It doesn't make sense, really. I mean, if he's got a flush draw, surely if he turns a flush draw, surely he barrels it. Pretty tempted to raise here. I think he just barrels all his flush draws on the turn, surely. I mean, he's not going to fold if he's got a set, but I think he barrels his sets on the turn. I think King Queen's maybe the only hand he maybe has for value here that takes this line sometimes. I don't know. But I feel like bluffing, so we're going to. It's like check raise, flop, check turn, bet river. King 8, wow. So yeah, he was just reacting to me. That disappointing that he looks us up there with just the king. Maybe people just don't bet fold in these games. Maybe that's a learning for me to take forward, that trying to bluff. When it's clear someone doesn't have a very strong hand, when someone's got like a 1 pair hand that you expect them to fold, maybe it's just not something that's happening. I mean, maybe my bluff line there isn't credible. Maybe I'm luck full of shit too. Who knows? But I mean, both my bluffs, I don't hate either of them, and it's like surprising and disappointing in equal measure that both of them got called by just 1 pair. But they did, so there we have it. I mean, the king 8 check raise is clearly fucking horrible. And then when he checks the turn, I'm happy with how I played that hand, because his check raise is clearly just checking our c-bet size, which is what I thought it could easily have been. Sadly, I mean, it's a shame we turn a pair, really. Because if we don't turn a pair, we just like bluff the turn when it's his check and we just win. And we're just giving up here versus this dude. Maybe bluff the river if he checks again. Do we have showdown value? I don't think so. So it's, do we just give up or do we bluff? It's going to be disappointing when he shows like a pair of 9s here, isn't it? Shouldn't have too many flushes given that we squeezed. Clearly try to make him fall like a Jack 10, Jack Queen type hand here, pocket 10s. And we finally get a bluff through. We should feel a little bit better. But again, yeah, both those bluffs, don't want to rake over them too much, but I think they're both fine in a vacuum. I'm not saying that we represent anything, really. In either hand, I'm not saying we've like credibly rep anything good, but given both the hands we've been called down by, especially the King 8, I think it's reasonable to expect both of those hands to fold when they get raised on the river. I mean, in general, if these guys are literally calling that wide versus river ranges versus river raises in these games, they're going to be getting absolutely fucking wrecked long term. Maybe not by me, because I sometimes do make some odd river bluffs, but against the overall population, if you're bet calling river with one pair in these games, you're going to be getting utterly fucking owned. And that's beyond question. Against some of the more aggressive and more somewhat creative players, you maybe do okay-ish. Yeah, but it's the same for 6-max too. I mean, you bet the river and you get raised, you know, you can safely fold a massive portion of your range. Pair, no draw. We'll go for a delayed c-bet. If he doesn't allow us, if he probes, then we just fold. So we're pretty close to being done here. We're going to sit out next big blind, and I'm going to go and do something else. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the full ring content. I hope it's given you some food for thought if you're an MTT player using these games as like a training area for your early stage MTTs, or if you're a 6-max player who isn't winning, maybe trying these games to make life a little bit easier for yourself. Pretty loose call, but I mean, he's min raised and he's hasn't got a full stack. We're kind of forced to check call this turn, given we've got pair and picked up a gut shot. And I don't think we can get value from anything by betting. Hopefully, just got to check and we beat like ace jack or something. So there we go, that's reached the end of it. How did we do over the 2 videos. We won $5. Get in there. So yeah, we'll be taking another dip into the lucky bag next week. Who knows what we're going to be playing? Could be anything. PLO, Courchevel, PLO split. Who knows? Sit and goes. Could be anything. Hope you've enjoyed these 2 videos, and bye for now, everybody.